Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Let's Not Talk About the Husband one more time with me and Lisa Rinna, who happens to be my wife, and I'm her husband. So,
Hi.
what should we talk about today? Okay.
Well, gee.
You can talk about the Emmys, which we saw. The Emmys, you know.
Yeah, we watched that last night.
I was not nominated. Neither were you this year. So, what a bummer.
But you were like 10 years ago.
I was nominated, yeah.
Do you know it's been 10 years?
No,
I
really?
hate to say that, but it has.
Not 10 years.
It's 10.
Oh, well,
I
let's
think
not talk about how...
9 or 10, and you're nominated for Mad Men. Such a great role for you.
Dan Bukatinsky won, and we saw him
And we
at
saw him
the party the night
Saturday
before
night.
last, and I said, I still haven't forgiven you.
Oh, that's what you're talking about. I couldn't
Yeah.
figure out why you said that to him. Because
Yeah.
it's been 10 years.
It's been
and of course
10
I
years, but
wouldn't
he won.
remember.
He won the Emmy
right.
over me, and I go. So yeah, I was like, "Are you kidding me?" There's the guy who stole my Emmy. So yeah. Anyway.
Jeez. I'm glad I didn't know what you were talking about. That was a fun party. So we went to this party called the night before. And what I love about this party, it's my favorite party because there's no press. There's no
There's no
photography.
paparazzi, no press, no red carpet. You don't have to get dressed up. You can wear whatever you want. You can roll out of bed and go to this party. But everybody
Is there.
is in Hollywood.
Everybody.
Every star, every producer, every
nominee,
director, every
almost.
writer, they're all there for one night at this party.
Let's talk about some of the people we saw. It's so fun. I love this party because you get to see people from your past.
We're going to drop some names here. So
Okay.
every time a
Oh,
name
yeah.
drops,
We're going to drop a lot. So if you're doing like a game,
Okay.
they could do a tequila shot game.
okay, every
for
time
this.
the name drops,
Yeah.
get a bottle of
'Cause we're
tequila, put it in
dropping.
front of you with a little shot glass, and every time Lisa drops a name, because I probably won't drop any, but when it,
Yeah, you could take a shot.
Okay.
So first, going back, because, you know, Derek Hough, we did Dancing with the Stars with. Did that 19 years ago.
and I hear Derek is doing all these amazing things now. You
Yes,
know?
he is. He's going to be the new host of Extra. Took over for
Holy
Billy
Moses,
Bush.
really?
He's the judge. He took over. I think he was saying that he is now where Len Goodman,
Oh,
God
that's
rest his
right.
soul,
Because Len, he
is
passed on.
Dancing with the Stars.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah. So we're talking
something that
about
we both did, and I'll never forget that I had to actually leave my agent. I don't know if you remember this,
I don't.
but I was the very first person who was ever asked to do Dancing with
That's
Stars.
right. You were.
Season 1,
You were.
I was the number one person, and I thought that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And I got my agent called me and said, "You were offered this stupid show where you get to dance," and I said, "Oh, I'll pass on that. That's ridiculous, right?"
Yeah.
And then
Stupid 34
this is 34 seasons later.
Yeah.
So then you did season 2, and then they came back to me for season 3.
Well, remember, they offered me season 1 also, but everyone said, you can't,
Can't do it. It's the
that.
stupidest
it's gonna
thing
be
ever.
so dumb.
Yeah.
And I, my gut was like, wait, no, I want to do it. It's going to be really cool. And then they all talked me out of it. And I listened to them. And then
So
they,
you didn't do season 1.
No, they came back.
But
for
then you saw season 1 and saw how amazing it was, right?
said, "I have
And
to
what a
do it."
challenge it is to have to do that, and you did it. And I watched you do it, season 2, and I saw what a change it brought in you. I mean, you opened up like a flower. It was kind of like you came out of your cocoon like
It's
a butterfly,
true.
you know,
I know.
because it was so hard and it was such an amazing challenge, and you did so well that when they came back to me again for season 3, I said, man, if I could get a little bit of that, whatever Lisa got when she did season 2,
I got my mojo back. is
she
what I
got your mojo. And I thought, well, maybe I can get a bit of that mojo back too.
Did you
And-
get it?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I got everything out of doing it that I thought I was going to get, but I had to fire my agent, or my agent fired me. He said he wouldn't represent me if I did that show. 'Cause-
I sort of remember that,
Yeah.
but I don't remember the
And-
agent because sometimes they're not very memorable. That one wasn't.
That one was, yeah, anyway, I don't remember. But I did do it, and it was an amazing experience. I mean, it was
Life-changing.
life-changing experience. So, anybody who does Dancing with the Stars, you have to know that anybody who takes that on is a superhero.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be an Olympian. You have to have won the Super Bowl, really,
Well,
to win that contest. It's so hard.
Which, by the way, neither of us are.
No, that's why we didn't win. That's why I got kicked off after 3 weeks.
You were good, though. You did a great job. You were with Karina. She,
that was Karina was on tour. I was with Karina.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you were with
Yeah.
Ashley.
I was with Ashley from Utah
Yes,
when I
that's
did
right.
the first one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then we went on the tour. We went on a 37-city tour, the first Dancing with the Star tour, which I guess they're still doing because Derek told us
Yeah.
Saturday night. And we went on 37 cities on a tour bus with the kids. It was so
it was
fun.
It was definitely amazing. And on New Year's, the day before New Year's, we were in Las Vegas.
Because it was the dead of winter. We
And,
did go.
and Las Vegas was as always, on fire around New Year's. So we were at whatever stadium there is in Las Vegas, 17,000 people,
yeah.
and we were late going on stage. I remember that the audience they were chanting and stomping their feet. And I had hurt my back that morning taking a suitcase out of the bus. I had a little hitch in my get-along, and there was a chiropractor backstage. And I said, hey, man, I got to go out in 5 minutes. Can you fix me? And he said, oh, no problem. I'll fix you right up. And he ended up herniating my disc, the L1, L5, whatever it is, disc. And the next day we went to Omaha, Nebraska. We went the next day.
Yes, I remember that.
And I called up the neurosurgeon at the hospital in Omaha, and he saw me right away, and he said, "Oh man, you're in trouble." They did an MRI of my back, and he said, "You'll never dance again. You'll never run again. You need surgery immediately." So he wanted a new Mercedes, I think, this guy, this surgeon, because I said, no, I think I'll wait and see how it goes. And the next day we went to Chicago, and I went to this sports medicine place in Chicago, and they stuck an epidural in my back, and I ended up dancing in 30 more cities.
I forgot that they shot you with one of those epidurals.
With an epidural, because my back, I had a herniated disc for years. It's fine now, but it was messed up. It was messed up for a long time.
That's right. We had chiropractors in every city. That's the one thing that was, I thought, very helpful.
Well, that guy he'd had a few drinks.
He was just rough. Oh, had he?
He was there with his girlfriend, and he'd had a few drinks. We were backstage.
No moss. No chiropractor drinking.
Yeah, but anyway.
Right.
So,
anyway.
but I'm okay now, and Dancing with the Stars is coming back
Tuesday.
After how many seasons?
I think it's 34 or 35.
Holy smokes!
It's crazy.
And didn't we hear last night that Survivors had like 70 seasons?
50.
50.
Survivors at 50. So we were like, Jeff Probst has to be so freaking wealthy at this point. Think about that. Well, he's probably a producer.
He could probably do it in his sleep. That's for sure. He's
Amazing
been doing it for so long. Yeah.
Well, and speaking of Dancing with the Stars, I'll name drop some more. I met Dylan Efron last night or Saturday night, and I hadn't met Dylan, but when the people that win Traitors, because he won with Gabby.
We've got to remind everybody that you were on Traitors. You're going to be on Traitors in January when it debuts again. Yeah. It won all of the Emmys it was nominated for last night. It won them all.
It won directing, cinematography, editing, show, and Alan won as host.
Yeah.
So very exciting. So to meet Dylan, who won.
He won the one last year?
Season 3, that won the Emmy. So he won with Gabby and Dolores, the housewife from New Jersey, and one more person. I think there was 4 of them.
Lord Ivar.
Lord Ivar from...
4 people won?
Yeah. It was really kind of fun to meet Dylan because I hadn't met him, and he's doing Dancing with the Stars. So it was fun to meet him and talk to him. He's very tall. I was very surprised at how tall, because we know Zach. We worked with Zach.
Yeah. And he's the taller younger brother, I suppose. Good-looking guy.
And sweet and lovely.
Very nice.
Very nice.
And I'll never, we were talking about what it's like to go out for the first time on Dancing with the Stars when you know that 20 million, in those days,
live.
20 million people were watching live in those days. I don't know what the head count is now out there, but those days, in the first few seasons, it was like 20 million people.
Scary.
And I'll never forget that when they called my name and they said I was going out to do the cha-cha, what the feeling was in my heart.
Oh, my God.
And
you've done live theater over and over and over your whole life.
But I've never danced before, and I had to dance in front of 20 million people. And apparently, I never watched my dances, but apparently I did okay. For
you were
the first
great.
one. Yeah, I still won't watch it.
You were great.
But it was really
terrifying.
scary. All I was hoping it was to not vomit when I walked out on the stage, because it was that terrifying.
I was afraid of blacking out. Like when you go live or do stage, you forget, you're afraid you're going to forget your lines. I am. So I was afraid that I would blank out my choreography.
Well, of course, you always wonder if you're not a dancer, you have no idea whether you're going to pull it off or not. You could get halfway through the dance and just tweak out completely and like fall down.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that Ted Danson and Mary's Teen version were in the audience that first night, and Ted came up to me afterwards and he goes, "Oh man, you got balls of steel."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, I guess so," because that was terrifying.
Terrifying. Terrifying. I was terrified the whole
The
time.
audience they don't really have any clue how terrified everybody is when they come out there for that first day. I mean,
Terrifying.
it is nuts.
So we gave him a lot of extra love and zhuzh and you can do it and,
So we chose Function because it's the only health platform that gives you access to the kind of data that most people never see and the insights to actually take action.
Inside Function, you can test over 160 biomarkers from heart and hormones to toxins, inflammation, and stress. You can also access multi-region MRI and CT scans, all tracked in one secure place over time.
It's an enhanced view of what's happening inside your body.
That's why top health leaders like Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Andrew Huberman, and Dr. Jeremy London are all behind Function. Lab visits are fast and convenient at 2,000 locations across the U.S. It's $499 a year.
$1.37 per day for cutting-edge health insights. And all results are tracked over time in one secure place so you see how your health evolves. Insights come from top doctors based on your unique results.
Your sex hormones don't just shape reproductive health, they influence metabolism, mood, energy, and more.
And I tried it out. It's amazing. Learn more and join using our link.
Function, it's a near 360 view to see what's really happening in your body.
The first 1,000 people get a $100 credit towards their membership. Visit www.functionhealth.com/Rinna.
Or use gift code RINNA100 at sign up to own your health.
The fact that Traitors won all 5 of its nominations and the fact that you're going to be on that show in just a few months, that's got to be exciting.
Well,
right?
I will say that, who doesn't want to be part of an Emmy winning, show?
Well, yeah. And what was it like working with Alan?
Alan's great. Alan is amazing.
Speaking, that's another name.
And of course, I can't talk much about Traitors because they'll kill me, right?
Yeah, they'll kill the whole family.
They'll kill the whole family.
So,
what I can say is Alan is so professional and he stays in character and he does not mix with us. So he plays the character the whole time. So no chitty chatty, no like hanging out in between, none of that.
Do you suppose that's why it's so good and why he wins the Emmy every year? Is it
No, he wins the Emmy because he's fucking great. Because he literally is.
But is it because he stays in character? I'm saying.
He plays this character that is amazing, and he's so good at it. And the outfits. I think the most fun is to see what Alan is going to wear.
I know what he was wearing at the Emmys last night was
fabulous.
It was really interesting
fabulous.
Too.
So you're at the breakfast table in the morning, and that iconic table, and he comes in, and it's just like when you're watching it on television. He comes in these fantastical outfits, and he's just such a great spirit, and he's really filled with light, and he's really funny. So let's say he's in character, and let's say something happens, kind of off camera. He will respond to it in character. So he will talk to you. And he might say your name, and he's very quick and he's very humorous. And so he will turn it into a joke or something. He really is the face of that show and really drives it.
Well, and that's probably why it's winning all the Emmys, because it's got somebody great like that at the helm.
He's so fantastic. You're in awe of him. You watch him come in and do his thing, and, he knows what he's going to say. He's on time. He's amazing. So it was a thrill to watch him because he truly
Well, it's very
is
unique.
Great.
I would say, that's a game show, right?
Well, it's a game.
It's a game.
It is a game. You're playing
So
a game.
he's the host of a challenge game? He's not a game show host.
No, he's the host of this phenomenon is what I would
So he's
say.
a host like Jeff Probst is a host, but not like a game show host.
I mean, he's the host of a show like that. kind of more of a mix between RuPaul and Jeff Probst.
Huh. Well, whatever
know?
it is, it's working. And I can't
brilliant.
wait to see you, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
Because whenever you do anything, you elevate it. So I can't wait to
thanks,
see.
Harry.
It's going to be even better this year than it was last year. It's going to win more Emmys this year.
Well,
It won
from
6.
your mouth to God's ears,
Yeah.
it was fun to see the group that the production, the producers, it was fun to see them all dressed up and winning an Emmy, because when you're working, you see people in a very different light. They're in their casual clothes. You're working with them.
Well, and there certainly were a lot of producers. I mean,
The
I thought
show
that was the
is-
whole cast. There were like 20 people up on the stage.
It's a massive show, is what I can tell you. It's massive. It's massive. And they just have it down to
The
a T.
logistics of that. Oh, my God, to keep everybody apart from each other.
It's
Yeah.
truly remarkable. And Dina Katz, our friend who cast Dancing with the Stars, also cast Traitors. So to see her up on stage last night was really fun. So massive congrats to the Traitor production and Studio Lambert and everybody, because
And maybe next year you'll be at the Emmys. You never
Maybe.
know.
You never know.
If it gets nominated again, you'll probably go. Yeah.
you never know. We'll see. But it's exciting.
So the Emmys happened, and what other pop culture stuff? Our kids are in New York right now.
I was in
doing
New York
Fashion
with
Week.
them last week.
You were doing Fashion Week, and you went to the Michael Kors show.
To the Michael Kors show, which I love. I love. I get to see friends. I get to see family. I get to see Amelia walk. Gorgeous, so fun. And then we went to a luncheon afterward for Michael Kors, which was really fun. And I had a great time in New York.
Well, I remember when you got in the car to leave, I said, have the best time ever when you going
Did
to New
you?
York. I did.
I had a really good time.
Yeah. And so when I get into the car tomorrow to go to the High Sierras, you know,
Do you want me to say have the best
have
time
the best
ever?
time ever,
Don't
yeah.
break a leg.
No, I don't want to break a leg when I'm on a high Sierra hike. That's for sure.
That's what I
No.
said. When I was saying goodbye to Dylan Efron, I said, good luck on Tuesday. I won't say break a leg
Oh, right.
for
of
Dancing with the
course.
Stars.
Yeah,
You
because
know? don't wanna
people
say-
have broken legs doing that show, I think, haven't they?
Well,
Yeah.
I think ankles. I'm not sure a leg, but if you injure yourself, you're effed.
Yeah, it's over for you.
Over.
Yeah.
The one thing, did you injure yourself? I'll tell you what I did that was really
Only during the
painful.
tour.
Oh, yeah, you did.
My back, I got herniated disc, but during the show when I was doing it, I was not injured.
Well, for me, what happened, because I ended up going to the semifinals, which was great. It was almost,
Yeah, it's amazing.
Almost to the end.
And
It's a
who
miracle.
won that year?
Drew Lachey.
Drew Lachey.
Drew
So,
Lachey and Cheryl won. Remember, it was like something a horse ride a cowboy, something a horse ride a cowboy, or something like that. They won. That was like their big song that they won with. Anyway, my ribs. I didn't break them, but it felt
from him holding you.
the way he, it was Louis Van Amstel, most brilliant dancer and teacher. We would do these spins, and he grabbed me, like here, and you do that like 45,000 times, and oh my God, by the end of it, I could barely breathe. It was so painful.
Well, I'll never forget seeing you walk across the room, the bedroom, toward the end. You would hobble. You would be bent over. You would all of your legs weren't working. You would be limping.
Like an old lady.
You were like an old 80-year-old woman
it's
walking
true.
across the bedroom.
Well, the truth is, I don't think I could do it now. I mean, it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure I couldn't
Oh, I
do
could
it
not
now.
do it.
No.
I would break.
Oh.
I mean, I'm old at this point.
Well, yeah, we don't need to go there, but
I mean,
yeah, we are
but
kind of
compared
old.
to like,
And that's what I'm thinking about when I go up in the High
and
Sierras.
how is that going to be?
I don't know. I haven't, yeah, a little bit
He goes in the
older.
High Sierras by himself. No phone.
No. Well, I'm going to take a phone this time. But there's no service. There's no phone
Well,
service.
then that
but
doesn't really
I can
help
listen
us.
to music on the phone,
But
and
like
stuff
we
like
don't, we kind of know where you are, but we don't.
that. But I've
so-
never been to this place before. This is going to be a new thing because I'm going to a whole new place that I've never been to,
I know.
which is going to be
and
great. I love it.
I feel mixed about it. I think it's exciting for you, but also I just have to like give it to God. Let go like God, because
Well, I'm going to have a good time. It's.
Are you looking forward to
it's
it?
Not, yeah, I am looking forward. It's not like going to New York to Fashion Week. It's like
Well, it's your fashion
I'm going to
week.
be hanging out with marmots and deer and bears and stuff. Yeah.
There's something about a love story that takes your breath away. Not because it's perfect, but because it's impossible. Imagine finding the person you were meant to be with in the very place designed to destroy you. Imagine choosing love when everything around you was hate. Everything designed to strip away hope. That's not just romance. That's survival. That's destiny. That's exactly what I felt watching Bow, Artist at War. The movie stayed with me long after I watched it. Yes, it's a Holocaust story. But at the heart, it's about love. The kind of love that keeps you alive. Joseph Bow wasn't just a prisoner in a Nazi concentration camp. He was an artist, a dreamer, and a man who risked everything, not only to help others escape, but to keep love alive. And then there's Rebecca, whose courage matched his own. By the end, I was in tears, not from the sadness, but from the sheer beauty of their love. This isn't just history. It's one of the greatest true love stories of our time. Bow, Artist at War, directed by the incredible Sean McNamara, opens only in theaters for a limited run beginning September 26th. Visit bowmovie.com to watch the trailer, learn about Joseph and Rebecca's real-life journey, and find showtimes near you. For me, this wasn't just a film. It was a reminder that love isn't fragile. Love is fierce. Love can outlast even the darkest days. Joseph and Rebecca's story proves that. Visit bowmovie.com, BAUmovie.com, to watch the trailer. Well, tell people why you like to do this.
Well, it's kind of a walkabout, for me. How in Australia, in Australia, the not native, the indigenous people in Australia, they often go on walkabouts where they just go alone into the outback for some time just to kind of reconnoiter and sort of.
What does reconnoiter mean?
Well, to kind of recharge, to reset. It's a reset moment.
And you don't talk to anybody because you're alone.
Normally I don't see anybody when I go, but this time I'm going to a place where I think there will be people because it's somewhat of a popular place. Places I've been going to before are so far in the wilderness that no one would want to go there. So I never see a soul there. But this time I'm going to this place because it's supposed to be really, really beautiful, very challenging. And it's a 41-mile hike. It's quite challenging. It's gained 7,000 feet while I'm doing it.
7,000?
Yeah. I'll be gaining 7,000 feet. So I might start at 5 and go to 12
so
or something.
You have to acclimate?
I'll acclimate first night. I'm going to stay in. Yeah, I'm staying in a lodge, and acclimate night 1, and then night 2 I'll be up at 10,000 feet.
Do you get sick at all? Do you get?
I thank goodness I do not get altitude sickness, but a lot of people do. You never know. I could get it this time. I've never had it before.
Is this higher than the other one or lower?
It's a little bit higher. It's I guess at one point I'm at 12,000.
Oh, that's
something.
high.
Going over one of the peaks, I'll be at 12,000 feet. So.
And you take a 50-pound backpack.
This pack actually, I got it to 27 pounds this time.
Oh God, that's light.
Compared, it's still heavy, but if you take water, each liter of water is about 6-point-something pounds. So if you take 2 liters of water, if I'm going over a peak or something like that, I've got an extra 12 pounds of water that I'm taking with me that you gradually get rid of as you drink it. But it adds a lot of weight going over the higher peaks.
Do you drink the water and put the iodine in it if you don't have any water?
No, I have a filter.
Oh, you filter.
So I can get really, really gnarly, nasty water, and I can filter it, and it becomes clear.
Remember when the girls used to go every year? They would go on
NOLA, right?
What would they call it?
It was called NOLA,
and they would take a week, and they would make them go out in the wilderness.
Yeah, and backpack.
Backpack for a week right when school would start. It's probably the greatest thing that happened for them because they had to literally be out in the middle of nowhere. They had to get the gnarly water with the filter.
I know.
They had to.
Good for them. It was good for them.
Go to the bathroom in the wood. They hated it. They were
I know.
so mad
And
at
they-
us
I
every
mean,
year.
And they will never. I've asked you. I've asked them to come along with me on my
No
side.
one will
They
ever
will
come
never,
with you.
because of that experience they had. They will never ever go camping again. I'm sure
Oh my
it's
God.
over for them.
They were so mad at us every year. They were like, I'm not going to Spirit Week or something it was called.
Yeah.
Some fancy name, and they were so
But
mad.
then there was Amelia learned after doing it the first time because she had pretty long hair, and the first time she went, her hair got all matted. She was out in the wilderness for a week.
Because they
and
don't have a shower.
They didn't have a brush or a shower like that. So yeah, her hair was all messed up when she got back. So the second time she went out, she said, I know what I'm gonna do. And she put her hair in cornrows so that her hair wouldn't get messed up on the trail.
And it wasn't even cornrows. It was like French braids and braids. Just two.
It was two French braids. And
Yeah.
it looked a little bit like cornrows, but
no,
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
But then when she got back after the camping trip, she got hit with cultural appropriation at the school, as though she
Unbelievable.
had somehow misappropriated the hairstyles of another cultural group, and
I know.
one of the reasons why I took her out of that school in the middle of the week.
It was problematic for us,
Yeah.
that school. We've had we had a great experience at Westland with the kids. They went to Westland, which is a progressive type.
Westland was fantastic.
school.
The other school, which we won't mention,
We're not going to say the name, but
yeah, it was.
it was not good. We had to pull them out at what Delilah was. Amelia
Delilah was a senior.
freshman, and she was a senior. So imagine getting pulled out of the school your
On a
senior
Wednesday.
year.
in the middle of the week. I called
You
them.
guys have no idea what everyone's been through. It might look rosy and great, but times like that, that was traumatic.
It was traumatic, and it was really, really bad for Delilah because
know, it really
Delilah's
was.
self-esteem was tricky at that point because of middle school. And middle school, remember, there was somebody who called us up, another person who will remain nameless, but called us up in the middle of the year when Delilah was at Buckley, which is a school a lot of kids go to, not the school that we pulled them out of. But
No.
when Delilah was at that school, we got a call from a friend of ours whose child was at Curtis, which is another elementary school not far.
right.
And he said, there's so
But
much
you're not
bullying.
dropping any names on this
I'm not
one.
trying to,
Okay,
no.
good.
And so the person said, there's so much bullying going on at Curtis. You guys are at Buckley. Can you guys maybe help us get our daughter transferred to Buckley? And I said, sure, of course we will, no problem. So I called up the headmaster, maybe you did, of Buckley, and sure enough, they were able to make that transition really smoothly. But then we found out that the girl who we helped leave Curtis was actually the bully. And
Of Delilah.
Of Delilah. Oh, she was the bully. She was
of
the bully
many,
at the
yeah.
school. And the reason she had to leave that school was because she was the bully, not that she was being bullied, which is what I thought. And then she went on to really severely bully Delilah. So Delilah's self-esteem was not good. And then she was at this school, and for the very first time, they got into the national competition for the a cappella group because Delilah's solo was so great, and she and her solo was so spectacular that it got them into the finals, into the nationals.
Yeah.
But then because she had SIBO, remember?
Well, I was going to say, we have to talk about her health issues at the time. She had pandas.
She had pandas before that, which is pediatric autoimmune neuropsychologic disorder.
Which causes a lot of things, and OCD and stomach issues. And now, if you follow pandas on Instagram, the panda, I forget the exact
Anyway, there's a
Instagram for it.
pandas.
There's a pandas. We'll put it up for you guys because I know a lot of
10% of kids get pandas. I mean, and some severely. Delilah had it severely.
But the faculty didn't have any way of dealing with it or knowing what it was, so there were no provisions made. Now there are provisions made at schools.
I think now they kind of know what pandas is.
Yes, like they get longer on their tests, and their attention span's a little bit different. And the
she
Pandas
developed
Network will tell
SIBO, which is a small
Yes.
intestinal bacterial overgrowth,
Horrible.
which is something that can happen from endometriosis, as we know now, because Delilah has had surgery for that. But it's very debilitating, SIBO.
very.
And she would, if she got hit with a SIBO attack, she would double over, like in a fetal position on the ground, and she couldn't move.
Well, she couldn't go to school.
But if she was at school and she got an attack, I'll never forget. The reason that we ended up taking her out of that school is because the headmaster of that school, in conjunction with the head of the a cappella group, took her out of the a cappella group before the finals because she missed a rehearsal.
I know.
And she missed a rehearsal because she was in a fetal position on the floor of the girls' bathroom for about an hour and a half and couldn't even move. And they said, "Oh, you can't miss a rehearsal. If you miss a rehearsal, you're out of the group."
But she also had another moment where she got a job. She got a modeling job. And she was going to have to miss something for that. And the school was very proactive in, it's so important to, work and grit and all this, and they penalized her for that.
Because it was modeling, because they wanted to have these girls come up and become CEOs of corporations.
I was also on a reality show at the time, and they were a little snooty about that, if you remember.
That's true.
I was a Real Housewife of Beverly Hills, and let's just face it, we went to a private school that had an attitude about that. They did.
Well, they had an attitude,
That's okay.
So we took them out.
Fuck
anyway,
'em.
they
I
did
don't
great.
care.
They both got into the colleges they wanted to go to, and all
And didn't
went
go,
well.
but
Well, I mean,
Delilah got into NYU. Amelia got into the new school. Amelia went for like a week.
and she only applied to one school. And not only did she get into that school, the only one school that she applied to, she also got a full ride.
She did.
She got a scholarship.
She got a scholarship. I forgot about that. Well, then COVID hit, and there's a whole story, with that, unfortunately. But they turned out all right.
The decision they had to make, because whether you start in the fall semester or the winter semester at those schools, they both would start at the same time as Fashion Week. So the question was, do I go to History 101 on a Thursday afternoon, or I make
10K,
make a bunch of money walking in a show? And so
yeah, it was
they
a
took
conundrum.
The money. Yeah, they can always go back to school. They got
they
got into the schools they wanted to. But I think, in this day and age, because of the internet and because of the ability to
Google.
basically find anything you want in 2 seconds, college education is not the same as it used to be. It used to be kind of a necessity if you wanted to grease the wheels going into life. And now those wheels are greased very easily by your cell phone. So
I do think it's very good for them to kind of learn how to live on their own for the first time. I think that's what college is great.
Yeah, no, there's no replacement for college,
I
but
think
you can
college is
certainly
great
get by
for
today
them.
without it, as our kids have seemingly done so far.
But we
we'll
are
see.
college proponents, because I do think it's a good transition from high school to life.
Well, they're the first kids in our family to not go to college.
Well, I
for
don't know.
generations
I'm not sure
and generations and generations.
I'm not sure you can count me as going to college.
Well, you went though for a while, but
3 months
in the Hamlin
Does that
family,
count?
there's
well,
definitely.
Yeah, let's say in your family.
In my family, they're the first to not go to college. People say, "Oh, they're the first ones who ever went to college." Well, they're the first that didn't go to
they're
college.
also the first ones to make that kind of money that
Oh,
they're
that's
making.
true. So I'm off tomorrow to the High Sierras, into a brand new location I've never been to before. My pack is 27 pounds, which is the lightest it's ever been.
Amazing. And you set up a tent every night. You do that, and
well, if it's really nice, I mean, if the weather's perfect, you can just sleep under the stars too.
It sounds like the worst fucking nightmare for me of my life. I can't imagine. That's where we're so different. Like my brain explodes listening to it, going, oh.
Why? Because you're outside, or because there's no air conditioning or something?
Just
or what?
to sleep outside, I would think that a mass murderer would come or a serial killer would come and slice my throat or something. I would never sleep.
But you're not afraid of the bears then. You're afraid of a serial killer, of a human.
I would be afraid of everything, but I would be mostly afraid of some
a crazy
serial
person?
killer. Yeah, or like
but when you're
that.
up in the high Sierras and you have to go to 12,000 feet to get to where you're going, very few serial killers
would do that.
I doubt very few would go to that extreme to get somewhere to kill somebody. No,
Well,
Not when they could just walk out in the street and do it.
it just, I would be cold. I would be uncomfortable. I would not like the bugs. I don't like to go out in the woods and, go to the bathroom. I don't see anything cute about it. I think it's great that you love it. I prefer to go to Fashion Week or the Four Seasons or to Paris.
Well, I know that your idea of camping is any floor below the 10th floor of the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
But, if you saw the views and the vistas and smelled the smells and took in what I see when I'm out there and what I feel, you would have a different sensation of it because you would say it's worth it to poop in the woods if I get to see this. It's worth it to sleep, alone in the middle of the woods if I get to see this and smell this and taste this. No, it's an amazing thing to be out there, particularly alone, because the animals deal with you in a whole different way when you're alone. They come right up to you.
They do?
Oh yeah, the deer and the marmots and all the little creatures. If you're solo, they're not freaked out. They come right up to you. Yeah.
So maybe you just like to go hang out with the creatures.
Well, I don't. I'm very happy if I get to hang out with the creatures. It doesn't happen all the time, but
Well, we'll see what
we'll
creatures
see what
come
happens.
visit you this time.
I'll take some pictures.
And then, do you eat? What do you eat? I know you will cook a steak the first time, but do you have that food that you mix up with water like the astronauts?
I mean, the dried food. Yeah, I'm an astronaut.
I don't know. I'm
not going to the moon. I'm going to the Sierras.
It seems like you're going to the moon, Harry. To me, you're going to the moon.
Oh, no, I do. I take dried food. I don't do the steak thing anymore.
Oh, you don't?
That adds another few pounds to the first day of hiking.
So what's in your freeze-dried food? What are you going to have?
Well, I got beef stroganoff, and I got bolognese. For the first time, I found some bolognese. Yeah, some dried bolognese.
God.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yum.
No, it's actually not bad. You'd like it. It's all worth, because if you just went and saw it, you'd go, I get it now. I understand why you go there.
I would be happy to go
with a helicopter.
In a helicopter, take me up, drop me off, and then I'm there, and I could be like, "Hi, waiting for you.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's breathe it in. Let's see it," and then I could get back on the helicopter when it's nighttime and go back home.
Yes, I know. And you can have your heater and your air conditioning and your dogs and stuff like that. I know. I get it. You want a magic carpet, basically, to take you there.
I feel like I want to live on a magic carpet. That's my life now. I'm to a point where I want things nice and comfortable and
everything
luxurious.
Done for you?
No, not necessarily. It doesn't have to be done for me, but I am set in my ways at this point. And I feel that life is too short to sacrifice anything like that. I want to have my life a certain way. If it doesn't go that way, I don't have a fit about it. I'm like, okay, well, we need to tweak this a little bit. But I have ideas of how I want to live my life. And
one of them is not going into the mountains?
I'm so okay with it. I'm so in owning of the fact that I like to live my life a certain way. And
you like room service.
I like to be pampered. Let's just get right to it. Okay. I like a certain pamperization. I don't know if that's a word.
I like the word pamperization. So you could be pamperized, but not in the mountains. You could be pamperized at the Four Seasons for sure.
I just have a certain way I like to live my life right now, and I just don't want to sacrifice anything if I don't have to. Like I will if I have to, but if I don't have to, I won't.
Okay, well, you'll be staying here. You're going to the Four Seasons, and I'll be in the mountains having
No, I'm staying at our house, which is better than the Four Seasons, with the dogs, which people loved. I mean, don't you love to just stay home with your dogs? I do. I love that.
Well, I've been home with the dogs while you were in New York, for sure. Love that. Very busy, by the way, with the dogs. They keep you very busy. You're going to be very busy while I'm gone.
No, I know. I trust me. I don't get lonely at all.
Well, good. I'm so glad.
How about the fashion at the Emmys? Did you see any of it?
I saw a little bit of it.
Okay, let's talk about
that. I remarked on Coleman Domingo's outfit.
Yes, he always dresses fabulously. We love him. Name drop. Ding.
I know. I remember when he was doing the Met Ball, I was, for some reason, I found myself in
Well, you went to see Amelia's billboard billboard.
I went to the store
Valentino.
in New York
To see Amelia.
And I met I met the designer.
Alessandro.
And one of the guys said, "Let me show you around the store." I'm walking around the store, and he says, "Do you know Coleman Domingo?" I said, "Yeah, I know Coleman, not a lot." And he says, "Well, come in here." Takes me into the room, and there's Coleman, like half naked, getting his outfit pinned for the next day for the Met Ball.
And he had a bunch of people in there. I remember he said.
And I was like, "What am I doing in this room?" But he was very nice.
Because you're Harry Hamlin.
He was very sweet and very nice.
Because you were brought to him.
Yeah.
So the fashion, my favorite dress was this Louis Vuitton that the girl that was on, oh my God, here we go. The one that won with the boy, one camera.
Which boy? You mean Adolescence you're
Adolescence.
talking.
What is happening?
I don't
Adolescence.
know. Okay.
The actress that won for Adolescence, I don't know her name, so I can't say it, but she had the dress that I loved. A gorgeous black Louis Vuitton that was custom designed for her. Fabulous.
Erin Doherty.
Thank you. Erin Doherty. See, that's why.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Without, we'd be lost without you.
Thank you. My God. Erin looked amazing. Loved it. And I thought Seth Rogen, I liked his tux by Etro because I posted it. I thought it was so good.
The sort of a purple thing, right?
No, actually rust color.
Rust
I think
color?
it was.
Yeah. It's hard to tell with the lighting.
The studio won a lot. The Pit. How about that? The Pit won.
Yeah.
The studio, the Pit, and Adolescence. Those were the three big
I've worked with John Wells, because he did Shameless.
Shameless, that's right. And you saw the actor from Shameless. See if you can remember his name.
Steven. Yeah, Steven was there.
Tall.
Very tall, and and he's working a lot. Well,
He said he's doing 2 shows at once.
2 shows at once. That's amazing. But John Wells was there, and I'll never forget my first day on Shameless. And I always wanted to work with John Wells because he had done ER, and he was so well known as being this great. He was sort of the Stephen Bochco of his day.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I was in the car going from the trailer to set, from makeup and hair to set, and Emmy Rossum was in the car with me, and I said, I was looking around through my trailer for the sides this morning. I didn't see any sides. Now,
sides are little things just to
sides
tell them
are
what sides are.
So what sides are is if you're shooting 4 scenes that day, the 4 scenes are printed out in a small version.
It's like this big, so you can.
It's like,
take them around.
You can put them in your pocket and walk
Yeah.
around. So if you don't know your lines completely, you forget them, you can always pull that out and look at it. And I said to Emmy Rossum, I was looking around for my sides. I couldn't find him. And she said, "Sides, Harry. Sides you're not allowed to have sides. This is a John Wells show. And John Wells, you have to know your lines before you get on the set. You can't ask anybody for what your lines are. You can't look at a cheat sheet.
What if you go up?
Well, you're kind of screwed.
Oh, shit.
Wow. So, I'll never forget that. I mean,
Wells.
and then I played a doctor on that. I played a doctor on Shameless.
You were a plastic surgeon, I think.
Whatever I was. I was a doctor. And I had to say some doctor stuff. Like I had one little sentence where I had to say some of those words that you only see in medical books and shit like that. And it was so hard to memorize those words because they make no sense. It's just like the thoracic dick and this and that, And I went up to John Wells and I said, "No, okay." I said, after playing this doctor, I said, I have the greatest respect for everybody who was on ER because however they managed to memorize those weird words, those strange medical terms that they had to come up with in the spur of the moment, it was like nuts. And I said, "John, I now have the deepest respect for you and all of the actors who ever worked on ER because that stuff is crazy hard to memorize."
Yeah, and I think, as lore has it, George Clooney wrote his really hard lines on his hand.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's out there, that he would look at his hand because
how would you remember all those words? It's almost impossible to memorize that stuff. And so, Noah won the Emmy last night, and I'm sure he has to say that stuff all the time.
Well, because it's basically, Well,
he said in his speech, he said he brought his A game to it, and you would have to bring your A game. You have to be your A+ game to say those words and to do that and not lose any time.
I'm not sure that I would be hireable for that. I'm not sure.
Well, at this point, with your memory the way it is,
forget
it
that.
could be a problem.
Yeah, forget that. I can't even remember like simple things.
What's my name? Okay. So we'll move on from there. Okay.
Let's see. So yes, Emmys last night. Okay, the one thing I didn't love about the Emmys, I try to be positive, but I didn't love the time and the money situation where if you went
for the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, I didn't love that.
That was a terrible idea. Whoever came up with that idea, it was like, I know that CBS is trying to finish on time, right? Because those things always go over, and they must lose a lot of money when they go over. But
they do so much silly, ridiculous stuff that takes up most of the time that they could use that time for the people
exactly.
saying their
if they
thank
had
you
never
speeches.
mentioned anything about the problem of time, if they'd never spent all the time discussing this time code thing that they had, all of that time that they spent on that could have been used by the people to thank their producers and their people on the set.
Exactly. So
Nuts.
I kind of wanted to slap them all. And I kind of wanted to slap the host. I did. I'm just going to be honest about it. I wanted to just be like, okay, snap out of it, move along. It was a cute idea for 2 seconds. Be done with it.
Yeah, it didn't work anyway because they ended up being in negative territory.
He knew it didn't work. And then he made CBS come in with some money. And I mean, it was a cute idea for 2 seconds. I thought,
how about when Stephen Colbert got the biggest ovation of the night?
Okay, that's the best part of the whole night. Let's talk about that for a second. We can go there. So Stephen Colbert's been canceled. His show, canceled, right? Canceled. CBS canceled.
But why do we suppose his show was canceled?
Well, we think his show is canceled because he talks about someone that doesn't want them to talk about them negatively, if you know what I mean.
I think that's probably true.
I think that's why they
And so CBS
canceled him.
then basically, with their knees bent,
Because
fired Stephen Colbert.
Didn't they sue CBS and Paramount for bajillions of dollars, and then they settled?
Well, because CBS and Skydance, Paramount wanted to merge,
right?
And in order to get the concession to merge, they had to concede.
But doesn't somebody in the big house have to okay it? I know I'm talking in code, but you'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like there was a
of course it was all leveraged. It was all bullshit.
Where they had to
Yeah, it was all bullshit. It was all, and it's all political bullshit. And yet, it works if you have the leverage and if you can scare somebody enough, that kind of, those tactics can work. And they have seemed to work with CBS, even though Stephen Colbert will go on, I'm sure, to do amazing things.
He won the Emmy last night.
And he won the Emmy.
Which is I love those moments. It's like you cancel his show. He wins the Emmy. He actually, I think, is the winner in all of it because he's going to go on. Yeah. He'll probably work for Netflix for 4 times the amount of money.
And he'll draw whatever audience is there for CBS won't have an audience anymore. So, CBS has taken a really strange turn, if you ask me. But
well, listen,
there's a lot of big business there.
It's
big
money.
Business, yeah.
Money, big money.
Yeah.
So he's going to go on. I thought that was my favorite moment when he won. First, when he came out, he got the standing ovation, and then when he won after your show's been canceled, it's such a good fuck you. I mean, I would have just stood there like this, but he's way classier than I am. Way classier. And he did say classy things about CBS, which I can learn from.
Well, he could have gone the other direction.
He didn't.
But, he's a pretty smart guy, and he's pretty evolved. And I think he knew that to go down that particular rabbit hole would have been a mistake. And he just was very classy about it.
So classy. And, he spoke about loss, and what I love about him is I had listened to him on Anderson Cooper's podcast about grief, and he was telling a story about losing his mom or I forget exactly.
You're forgetting stuff these days.
Again, I forget, but I just remember being so moved listening to this podcast with Anderson and him talking. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. It's really moving. And you really get to know Stephen Colbert in a different way, and Anderson, of course. But, because Stephen is a comic and he does a late night show. This was a more real moment of him, and
I thought so. Yeah.
it's great. So if you get a chance to go listen to the Anderson Stephen Colbert podcast, I forget the name. Of course, I forget the name of Anderson's podcast, but it's on grief. It's amazing. I remember I listened to it.
So it was inspired by his mom passing?
Yes.
Okay,
and
yeah.
So I remember listening to it after we lost Lois and crying. Andy Cohen told me to listen to it. And I was like, I'm not sure I'm ready to listen to it. And then I did. And I was like, wow, so moving. So moving. So anyway, there's that. So what else? Is our time up? Did we talk enough? We chitty-chatted. Again, what did they say? We're like audio ketamine.
Oh.
Audio, you're like listening
from
to
whoever lips to God's ear. That
whoever
was,
said that on my Instagram, I thought it was so cool. I love your podcast. It's like audio ketamine.
What is ketamine like?
Well, it's a tranquilizer, honey.
So we're putting people to sleep?
Well, I don't know. She said it in a positive way. It
Okay.
wasn't like, I fucking hate your
For
podcast.
all of those of you who are still awake, thank you so much for once again joining us on Let's Not Talk About the Husband. Did you forget?
No.
Okay.
I know that name.
All right.
Bye.